Hi fellow enthusiasts, welcome to my channel. Let's go into today's video and we're gonna come back at the end to wrap it up. So in this video we are unboxing and setting up the FLSUN Q5 3D printer. So you get out all the parts from the box. You have to get the axis, XYZ axis, and then also you have to get the other components that come with it. So it's very intricate. So the box really contains a lot, so just carefully unpack everything. Take your time. You will see that some of the components are very accessible, while others require you to take off certain things before you can access them. The power unit, or the unit that contains your circuits and touchscreen and all that, it's a little bit tough to get off the board, to get off the packaging, so take your time to get it off. Then once you get it off, you notice that the rest of the packaging still remains a little bit heavy. That's because the hotbed is there, and also they have the sample filament. So get there, set it down quietly. I'm using a floor, just a regular floor, to do that. So set the two units down, and then you get the manual that comes with it. It's very simple manual, but very instructive, and if you follow it step by step, you should be good to go. The first thing you do is that you have to turn the head upside down so you can access the channels to install your XYZ axis. Then you have the screw, a plastic bag that contains some screws, and then another one that contains some Allen keys. Find the matching ones and just install your XYZ channels accordingly. Again, you have to keep it upside down, and maybe this might be a good time if you were doing this the first time. Observe that on the power unit there's a switch. We're going to come back to it towards the end, but there's a switch that you need to enable to allow you to use this with 110 or 115 power supply. By default is set to 230. And I think there's a security measure there, because if you plugged it into 110, it wouldn't come on until you switch it over to 110 before you plug it in. The converse would have been, damaging, if you will, if you had plugged in to 230 while the setting is at 110. So I think what he did was ingenious by setting it to 230. Just one problem I have with it is that it's hard to, it's not very easily accessible. Alright, so now when you're installing the hotbed, make sure that the logo on the hotbed and the touchscreen are facing in the same direction. Once you finish that, you turn the unit over like I'm doing right now, and then you can install the other two screws from the top. Now when you are done, there will be two screws that are left. You can keep those safe for later use. Alright, so just following it step by step. So in step number 3 right there, so you have to install those fixed arms, those parallel fixed arms. So tighten the screws from both sides on the parallel arms. There are 6 of them, but 6 of them form 3 pairs. Gently tighten them using one of the Allen keys. Find the right size Of course, the bigger size will not enter, but don't try to use a smaller size because you could weigh out the teeth. Now, install your nozzle. This piece comes with a fan and also the tube for your filament, for your filament feed. So install the other ends of the power arms on your nozzle header, and you will see the connection, the way it would fit for both power arms on each side. You can see a metal piece joining each pair, and make sure that each pair is coming from the same delta. So two pairs, a pair from the X, a pair from Y, and a pair from the Z axis, and they will fit correspondingly on your nozzle head. Take your time. There's no need to be in a hurry here. Just make sure that you get it right the first time, and once you are engaged a lot of it, then you can use the Allen keys to tighten it a little bit more. Not too tight, but again, it can't be too loose because this is a moving part. It might come off from time to time, so remember to tighten it according to the instructions on the manual. Maybe once every 2 months, if you, depending on how often you print. But everything that and if you're using any moving part, make sure that you tighten it up from time to time. So every 2 weeks you try to clean the heated bed every 2 weeks, and once a month you can also do that, and every 2 months you should do that as well. Then tighten the power arms every month, and also every 2 months, so basically every month. Now the wires, the harnesses here are color coded, so very intuitive. Just connect them color to color, red to red, white to white, yellow to yellow, and you will see the type of connections because there are 2 wire connectors, 2 white connectors here. You have to look at them carefully to connect the right ones. The other one has 3 wires, and the other ones have 2 wires each, so 2 wires will go for 2 wires, obviously. So after connecting that, just go back to your manual to see what is left, and in this case we have to install the filament bracket. The filament bracket comes in 2 parts, a 2-part assembly. So you have to connect the base first, and then there's the handle that actually holds the filament. You have to screw that to be facing up, so that as we have it, the curve goes up so you can hold your filament and it doesn't fall off. Then of course your level sensor goes to the remaining white wire, and this is something that is not very intuitive, but you can find out that on the nozzle there is a magnetic piece that holds the level sensor. So locate that on the nozzle and then just connect it right there. Right. Then after that, you connect up the wire from the hotbed to the upper part of the circuit. Then plug in your power supply and you're almost good to go. Now remember I told you that you have to ensure that this is switched to the right power supply for your area. Now if you're in an area that you use 230 volts, you don't need to do anything here anymore. Just plug it in, power it on, and you should be good to go. But if you are in the regions of the world where you use 110 or 115, whatever the case may be, you have to turn this upside down one more time and get a little screwdriver into the opening that that it's labeled. You're gonna see it shortly. It's labeled a 230 and 115 or something like that, switch it to the appropriate voltage. So here where this is where I'm talking about. So you have to switch it. You can see 230, and then on the other side it's like 110 or 115. Not very intuitive, but you can notice that. Then there's a little bit of slot. Put your screwdriver and switch it to the right place. Now just fire it up and you're good to go. Alright, remember to feed the filament. I'm gonna make another video how to feed the filament and how to remove the filament, and also a sample printing. Alright, thanks for sticking around to the end. That'll be it from us today. Please, if you have not subscribed, do so right now, and don't forget to like and share this video. Until we come your way again with more contents, stay enthused.